What's up, YouTube? On today's episode, I'm talking about how I started in this industry. I am here for you. Being an ex-soccer player. So, I get a lot of questions. How do you just start? If you haven't been in a gym before, if you want to get into more Olympic lifting, powerlifting, these are all things that once you're in it for a long time, 2-3 years, you kind of forget that in the beginning it's extremely nerve-wracking and intimidating to get into a gym. And believe it or not, that was me. Like I played soccer my whole life. That's the field, and that's like agility training with ladders and sprint work, and basically just killing yourself out on a field. No, at no point did I set foot in a gym, I'm not kidding you, till I was like 22, 23. Every time we had weight room for soccer, I got out of it. Don't tell my coach, but I got out of it to go work. So when I decided on a dare to enter a bodybuilding competition, I was like, where do I even start? Like, I didn't know what any of the machines did. I knew that my parents were both bodybuilders, like they were both actually amazing bodybuilders in the 80s, but I always looked at what they did as kind of a little bit odd, like who gets greased up and wears a little bikini and goes on stage? But I ended up becoming one of them. So that was my, journey to go through. But in the beginning, it was very scary to be in a gym by myself. So I enlisted my dad, shout out Pop, for basically the basics. How do I do anything? What is a contraction? What is an extension? How do I even know what muscle group I need to be working? He taught me the basics. It basically stripped me of like everything that I thought I knew about, working out and exercising. I thought it was just push yourself to the limit till you throw up and then run some more. Like that was my soccer mentality. Bodybuilding was very strategic. What muscles you need to build up so that you have proportions. I learned the dynamics of doing push-pull motions, doing full body versus just singling out like upper body, lower body, or certain body parts on certain days. And I figured out what worked for me along the process. And now that I'm not competing anymore and I don't worry about having 10% body fat or eating asparagus and chicken every single day, and I actually live my life how I want to, I'm not as strict on how I train. So that's why you see a lot of my training is like full body, or maybe just burn out on one particular body group. But I want to give this to you guys for like the basics of what I started with, the foundation that got me to learn how to utilize a gym better, or even just like any free weights that you have, so that you become more comfortable, because I want that for you so that you're not intimidated, because it is scary at first. So let's get into the first thing. So one of the things I was really hesitant to do was anything tricep related, because I already had bigger arms, and I was like, Dad, I'm not trying to look like the Hulk over here. But what he had to break my thought process about it was, when you build a certain muscle group, you're not actually like expanding that muscle. You're breaking down the muscle fibers, and then as you build that muscle up, it tightens and firms that area. Thus the fat that's deposited around it will get eaten up because of that muscle. That's just the way that the human body works. So as I built that muscle, in the beginning you started to look like a little bigger, and then you just lean up. So don't think that just because you're building that muscle group, this is like that whole thought process with girls of like, I'm gonna look like crazy big or like a man just because I'm building muscle. All that's a fallacy. If you actually do your homework and do your research, you'll see that it's the complete opposite. So you want to bend over, keep your elbow locked right to your side. Your hand is facing down towards the ground, and you just push it straight back, keeping your arm nice and tight to your side. And then I go straight into this. You just lift 5 pumps, short. So upper body was a huge area mentally for me to get over. I think anytime you're kind of bullied as a kid for a certain like part of your body, it's a hard mental block to get through as you get older, to accept, and then not only to accept but to realize, if I want to be stronger, if I want to test myself, I'm probably going to build up this area. And through that process, I had to realize, like, these were just voices in my head from people that were insecure or didn't understand or had never seen a girl look the way that I did. And when I broke through those walls, everything opened up for me. And now anytime anyone has anything to say about me, I'm proud of the work that I've put in on my upper body. And yes, I do carry more weight or more muscle mass in my upper body, but now I'm not afraid to like show that, because that shows off my hard work. And it's actually the tides of changing, and now that you see more and more girls on social media actually wanting to build their upper body, I feel like I'm so happy that it's finally changing, because my poor mom had huge arms and she was tormented for it too. And thus, I think when she raised me, she was a little insecure about hers, and I would look at her like, well, damn, if she's insecure, then I should be insecure. And so it's like a cycle, and I want to break that for my potential kids and for other girls watching this, to know that strength is nothing to hide. Whatever your body type is and whatever it becomes when you build strength, that's uniquely yours, and you should be so freaking proud of that. Because at the end of the day, the aesthetic aspect of what is perfect and what is feminine, fuck all that. Shit doesn't matter. I feel like every time I do anything biceps, I feel like the Hulk when I get done with it. Because I know like biceps are one of the things that my body carries. Like, I think I was born with biceps. It's just the way my baby pictures look. But I tend to only do them like once a week, maybe twice a week. And I don't know, I'm becoming more and more inclined to do them just to like stick it to all those people that were like, so manly, girls shouldn't have biceps. Like, this is just me, and like I'm not gonna hide it. And and the more girls that I get that are like, what do you do for upper body? Like, I'm gonna hold true to that. I'm gonna show you ladies what I do and what you can do to build up your arms, so that all of us can change the mindset of these people of what it means to be beautiful, what it means to be feminine, and shit, what it just means to own who you are and be strong. So I feel like instead of throwing up like the F you, we should just throw up a bicep and be like, what? I only started doing chest press like last year. I have a lot of scar tissue and then a torn rotator cuff, so I was very worried to do it. But honestly, I feel so much more power in a lot of my lifts when you work chest. Ladies, don't be afraid of it. And I'm not even going heavy. When you're doing chest press, you want to make sure that you literally keep your chest big and try to keep just like the top of your shoulder blades, or I guess your chaps, on the bench. Arch your back, and then just gonna focus on feeling literally like your chest like rip apart as you move the weights down. And then you want to drive straight up, keeping your chest big. Don't collapse it as you push. You really want to make sure that you feel the, it's like the Hulk moment right there. If you're just getting into lifting of any sort, first time stepping into the gym, just remember there's no perfect way to do anything. You don't have to be intimidated by all the people that seemingly know what they're doing in there. I guarantee you most of them don't really know what they're doing in there. What matters is your why you're stepping foot in there in the first place. why you want to better yourself. Don't let any of the voices get in your head that you don't know what you're doing. Start with the basics, master them, and then move on to the more complex movements. But trust me, once you get in there and just get the feel of it, you're gonna feel a whole lot more confident. So I urge you not to be intimidated by the gym or by any kind of weights or by a lot of people in there looking like they know what they're doing. Because at one time, we didn't know what we were doing either, including myself. So get in there, get that shit done, and move on. Just quiet the voices, put on your headphones, do what you gotta do, and kill it. Love you guys. Bye.